Hello, Laziali all over the world. Welcome to another episode of Lazio Lounge. A little bit special today because we still don't have Alistair McKenzie, and I don't know when he's going to come back. But, and probably this is the only time I wanted to have Alistair on the show because we have our friend Karsten today on the show. And yesterday was this little important game, right? Scotland, Denmark. And it didn't finish well for us, Karsten, right?
No, it certainly did not.
But we have to talk about Gustav Isaksen because he played both games Denmark played in this international break. He scored in the last game, and yesterday he got a penalty. So, Karsten, as Isaksen has become one of the most valuable players for Lazio, how was his performance in these two games? How do you rate him?
Well, the funny thing is, so Denmark got a new coach about a year ago, and this new coach he rates Isaksen very, very highly. I would even say he might be the most important player on the Danish national team. Our coach rates him so highly. He plays 90 minutes every single time. The whole game is basically designed so that Isaksen can get the ball and start dribbling. I think he played well. Yesterday, I think he was one of the three best players for Denmark. That doesn't say a whole lot. They didn't play well at all. But he got a penalty. Andy Robertson from Liverpool made this clumsy penalty on Isaksen, and Rasmus Højlund from Napoli scored the goal against Scotland. But I think he played really well. I think Robertson from Liverpool will not remember Isaksen very fondly. And maybe there are some Premier League clubs who think that this guy who dribbled around Robertson maybe 3, 4, 5 times, we can use him. And we know that if a Premier League comes for Isaksen, there's a lot of money in it for Lazio.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Premier League later, but I was thinking, yeah, show me that Maradona Cup. Yeah,
Mm,
I was
my
thinking,
favorite cup.
I was thinking, Carsten, and I need to know what you think about it because we said that Isaksen is a great player. He creates a lot of chances. With Lazio, he doesn't finish it, but with the national team, he scores pretty much every single game. What's the difference? Why this happens?
Mm, I think some of the games are just much more open. To be honest, when you play a qualification group like Denmark just did, you play against really shitty teams. You play against Belarus, which is not a good team. Greece, not a very good team. To be honest, Scotland is not a very good team either. I mean, Denmark was, in my opinion, a far better team than Scotland, and I think Alistair would probably agree with me. But I mean, it doesn't matter now because we didn't finish it at all. But the games are just easier for Denmark because they play half the games. You know that with Italy as well, they play against Albania and stuff like that. So he gets a lot more chances. But also he's just more of a central person for Denmark. In Lazio, he's not the star player. The star player, I think, is Sakani, in my opinion, right now. And Isaksen is not exactly the same in Lazio. But I agree with you. I think Isaksen plays well in general for Lazio, but he doesn't score enough goals. I couldn't agree more.
Well, the thing is, since he got back, he's been very important for us. I mean, in the Juventus game, but not only, in pretty much every game he played since he got back, you can see Lazio finally creating chances, being far more dangerous. So I think Isaksen has become. You mentioned Zaccagni, and I have to say that in the last couple of games, Zaccagni picked up his form, but before he wasn't great. So I think Isaksen and Zaccagni are the most important players for us because they create chances. They win the one against one. So I think having Isaksen back is very important. But you saw him in the last two games. Do you think he's back to his 100% form, or he's getting closer, but he's not there?
Well, that depends what you mean when you say 100% form, because in Lazio, I think we have only seen Isaksen play really, really well for about 2 or 3 months last year. I think you remember in January, February, March, maybe. He was the best player from Lazio almost every single game. Apart from that, he's never really been consistently a really good player for Lazio. Is he back to that form? I don't think he is yet, but I think he's getting there. I mean, he's played a whole lot for both Lazio, but also for the Danish national team. And it looks like Cancellieri has had another setback on his injury.
Yeah, he won't be back next Sunday, so he could be out for another couple of weeks. So yeah,
which is too bad because Cancellieri could play the number 9 for Lazio, and Dia is not. I mean, let's face it, he's just not a number 9 at all.
you know what? I was thinking that Dia was a better number 9 than Tati Castellanos, but I don't know if he lost confidence, if he's not suited to the 4-3-3 of Maurizio Sarri. But in the last month, since the injury of Castellano, he's been playing really, really badly. I mean, in the derby, he wasted a huge opportunity, but that's not all. I mean, in pretty much every single game, I thought in the last 3 games he played, he had 1 shot on target, which is not acceptable for a number 9. And we were talking about it before. Without Zaccagni and Isaksen, we are not dangerous, and that's a problem. But my concern is that Isaksen, after these 2 national games, could be very tired. And Sunday, we need to win. We are playing home against Lecce. And it's not going to be Dia who's going to score the decisive goal, who's going to create chances, right? It's going to be Zaccagni or Isaksen. So that's the most concerning thing I had. Isaksen played all the game yesterday, right?
Yes, he did. He was very tired at the end. So maybe he's going to be a little bit tired. It is going to be 4 or 5 days. You have to remember, Isaksen is a physical. I mean, he's just an incredible specimen. When he was at FC Midtjylland, he always won all the physical competitions and stuff. Once he gets into really good shape, he can play every single Sunday for 90 minutes every single time. I would say that his numbers, I would put them up against just about anybody at Lazio. I don't think anybody has better conditioning numbers than Isaksen. So I don't think he will be tired. This is on Sunday against Lecce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem for Isaksen. And even though Denmark didn't do well, he did fairly well in those 2 games. So I think he's going to come back with confidence. I think we can hope for something good.
You were mentioning the Premier League before. Do you think that this winter, rather than this summer, someone will come and offer good money for Isaksen? Or do you think it's rather be next summer?
I mean, my guess is as good as yours. I've seen a little more games because I've seen the national games too. When Denmark plays against Scotland, obviously there's going to be some people from England who will watch the game as well. I don't think Isaksen was great yesterday. I think he played more than decent. I think he played fairly well, but he wasn't incredible or anything. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but do you know if Lazio even wants to sell him?
Well, I don't know if Lazio wants to, but Lazio will be forced to sell 2 players this January. So, it depends on the offer, I think. Who's going to get the best offer is going to be sold. And Isaksen could be one of them because, the national team is a very interesting opportunity. I mean, it gives you the opportunity to be seen everywhere. And we don't have that many international players, right? Guendouzi haven't been called from the French team, so it's Zaccagni, it's Isaksen. I don't think Marusic is getting the right publicity and nobody's going to offer money for him. So we don't have that many players that could be having an interesting market in January. I think selling Isaksen in January is going to be a huge mistake because you're not going to replace him. So I hope nothing huge happens because I don't think Lazio has the opportunity to finish in top 6, but without Isaksen, it would be pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'm guessing though that because Guendouzi, Cancellieri played so well before his injury, that maybe Lazio would consider selling Isaksen a little more now than they did a year ago, because Cancellieri did fairly well before he before he was injured, in my opinion. But I don't know. I think Isaksen is I think he likes it a lot in Rome. He's the kind of player, I think I've told you this before, Isaksen is the kind of player, he doesn't really like change that much.
Yeah, and you were mentioning that he played well 3-4 months last year, which is true. But I thought even in those periods where he wasn't playing great, he was still able to provide assists, scores goals, and so he's really important. Plus, he doesn't score a ton of goals, to be honest. But if you go and see winning goal against Atalanta, winning goal against Victoria Pilsen, winning goal against Napoli, he's scoring very important goals. So I think, I don't know if you agree with me, he's probably the most important player of the team so far this year.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And I think that says something about Lazio as well, unfortunately. Because there's no Ciro Immobile who scores 20 goals. There's no Luis Alberto who can do magical things. There's no Felipe Anderson, who is one of my favorite players from Lazio for the last 10 years. There's no Sergio Milinkovic-Savic. We just don't have players of that stature anymore. We just don't. Even if Tati comes back, he's not that level at all.
Oh.
I mean, he just isn't. But I think the worst thing about the Lazio situation right now is basically that Rovella is almost not going to play this season. And he might be he's certainly our best midfielder. He might be our best player, all in all. And he's not going to play, he's going to play, 2 months this season?
Well, he's going to be out till, I think, beginning of February. He's going to get the surgery this week. So that's been another month and a half out. And then he has to get,
he have to get fit as well.
Yeah, so that's a huge problem. And again, we have so many issues because we said before the international break, well, against Lecce, Tati's going to be back, Rovella's going to be back, Cancellieri is going to be back. And then yesterday, the training, they start training again, and the only player available is Nuno Tavares. So,
who's not a Sarri player at all, Nuno Tavares. Sarri likes discipline, and Nuno Tavares is the opposite of discipline.
Yeah, and he's been playing badly. And Delebashiru could be back, and I don't know, who would you take off the list to add Delebashiru? Or if you're bringing back Delebashiru? This is another question,
For the starting 11, I don't think that I would include Delebashiru. I don't think I would. I don't know about is Beliani, is he completely vanished? Or what's the deal?
Well, he's not playing a lot, right? Well, he's hardly playing, to be honest with you. He got a stupid red card, and I think Sarri didn't forget that. And to be honest with you, it's not the first stupid red card. He got one even last year with Baroni. So you can see that this player is not very smart. So that's the biggest issue.
But why did we pay 20 million euros for him, or 17 or whatever?
I think it was around 10 because he's a Verona player and we like to give extra money to Verona for some reason. So,
well, I hope Verona. I hope they send a really nice Christmas card to Lotito then.
Well, they probably do. Karsten, I have to ask you about Proscar because he's been pretty much the biggest surprise this season so far. He started the season 2 good games, I would say. He's been playing left back against Atalanta in the last minutes of the game. You told me you weren't expecting that much from him. Are you surprised to see him performing like that?
I think everybody is, to be honest. He played for a bottom team in the Danish Super League, and he wasn't even that impressive for that team. I know that he's the captain of the under 21 Danish team, but I think that says a lot about that team. That he is that. The thing about Poulsgaard is that he's very serious. He works really hard. He's very disciplined. And I think Sai likes the fact that Poulsgaard just says, and apparently his Italian is pretty good, even though he hasn't been around for a long time. I think Sai really likes the fact that basically Poulsgaard does exactly what Sai tells him to do. He knows exactly what he's getting. He's not a quick guy at all. I don't see him as a left back in the future. But as long as Poulsgaard doesn't get really, really quick players around him, he's fine. I think he's a clever player. I think he's pretty good with the ball at his feet. His passing is good. And when you have him next to Gila, I think Gila might be the quickest defender in the whole Italian league. I don't think they're a bad partnership, to be honest. I mean, I prefer Romagnoli, of course, but I don't. I think Poulsgaard is doing, like you said, much better than I thought.
And he's very tall, so he's very useful, especially in the last minutes of the games where the opponent teams try to put the ball in the box.
We have such a small team. Lazio always has such a small team, so I agree. Yeah, that helps a lot.
I want him to be more dangerous when we have the opportunity, because he played a couple of minutes and we try to put balls in the box, and I think we should plan something with him when he plays, because he can be really dangerous when we have the opportunity. We were mentioning before that we don't have top scorer, we don't have Ciro Immobile, so we need other players like defenders to score more goals. Do you think he can be that player?
I doubt it. I don't think he's much of an explosive header. He has height, I agree, but he doesn't really jump much if you look at him. You know, he's just kind of big and just standing there. And those kind of players don't really score a lot of goals. I think Gila is actually much more dangerous on corner kicks and stuff because he's so explosive. I'd like to ask you, what about Tati? When is he coming back, Vittorio? Do you know?
Well, he should have been back this week, but I think next week he's going to be back, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, we needed to win this game. I think we have the Coppa Italia game next week against Milan, so it's going to be very important for us. Again, Tati has been important more because Dia has been terrible rather than Tati is such a good player, right? And, Karsten, I was thinking, is the reason Postgard is playing so well because Serie A is so below average competition? Or do you think he has improved a lot and he can be important in different leagues?
I don't think Serie A is a bad league at all. If you look at, Atalanta won the Europa League not long ago. Inter is in the Champions League final every other year. I think that proves the fact that it's not a bad level in Italy. But I think it suits Poulsgaard really well. It's not a quick league. It's not. It's a slow league. And Italian football has always been a little bit slow. And then once in a while you have explosions. I think that if you put Poulsgaard in a Premier League team, I don't think that's possible at all. I just don't. But in the Italian league, because it's a little bit slower, you have to be more intelligent, but you don't have to be as quick as you do in England. I think that he suits, and I think he suits Sarri's style a lot better than he suits Baroni's style, because Baroni's is a little more crazy, a little more chaos football. Sarri's is very, very scheduled. Everybody knows where to run all the time. And I don't think Poulsgaard is a dumb football player. I think he's a fairly intelligent player. I think the only thing that he's really missing is explosiveness, quickness, and he's never going to get that. He's never going to be a quick player. But you have really good defenders who were never that quick, so it might not be a problem.
Yeah, were you surprised to not see him start against Inter? Because rumors were that Romagnoli wasn't 100% fit, and he could have started against Inter. Do you think that the reason why Sarri opted for Romagnoli was he wasn't convinced Postgard was good enough to play against Inter in a away game? Or do you simply think if Romagnoli is ready, he has to start, he's the starting player?
I mean, we know Sarri by now, Vittorio. You and I have seen him for 3 seasons. He likes his first 11,
Yeah.
And they have to be, basically, you have to cut a leg off Romagnoli, I think, if you want Poulsgaard to start instead of him. So I think what I think they did is I think they gave Romagnoli a lot of pills to play that one game. To be honest, I mean, they knew that they had a 2-week break after this, so I think they told him basically we'd like to give you a few of these these pills, and then you can play the game. And I think Romagnoli said, "Fine, that's okay with me." I mean, he's not going to destroy his career if it hurts him a little bit the next 3 or 4 days. So, in my opinion, yes, of course, I prefers Romagnoli over Polsko, and so would I, and I think so would you. You know, Romagnoli he's a great defender.
Yeah, and I think he's perfect for Sarri defense rather than Baroni. He struggled a little bit last year, while this year it's much better. How? I mean, one of the biggest difference compared to last season is that even if the players are the same, this year we are like the second best defense in Serie A. Last year we were the worst of the top 10. How do you explain that? Because it are the same players. Exactly. We didn't sign anybody.
No, it's so strange, and we've had so many injuries as well, but still our defense is much better now. Well, Sai is very, very good at organizing a great defense. That's the first. That's certainly the first explanation. I think Provedel, suddenly I think by right now, maybe the best keeper in the Serie A again, like he was last time Sai was around. I don't know what the hell it is that Sai's coaching does to Provedel, but I don't know. It's like he's eating some kind of magic mushrooms or something. He just plays really, really well whenever Sai is the coach. It's hard for me to say exactly tactically. I mean, certainly we play more settled in defense when we have Sarri. Whenever Baroni was the coach, and I like Baroni's style, but it wasn't a settled defense at all. It was chaos football. Lots of chances for us, lots of chances for the other team as well. And I think maybe Provedel thrives more in a very settled defense. So, I mean, the only thing we're missing now is creating more chances for ourselves.
Well, scoring more chances rather than creating, probably.
That would be nice as well. Can I come with a little bit of a hypothesis about Dia?
Of course you can.
So I think Dia is I think he's a good goal scorer, but I don't think he's a very good number 9 when he has his back against the other team's goal. That's what Tati is there for. He's there for the fighting. He's there to hold the ball up. And then I think Dia is really good next to Tati, which means that we're going to have to play with 2 strikers maybe if you want Dia to play. And I think that could be great. But the problem is if you do that and you have to hold on to both Isaksen and Sakanye, you have 4 strikers. And that's not really something that Sai is crazy about. He always wants to play 4-3-3, right?
Yeah, and playing with 4 strikers, it's dangerous. It's someone has to defend, and we know that it's going to be difficult like that. So that's
especially because our best defensive midfielder is injured the rest of the season, basically, Rovella.
Well, I hope he's going to be back in February, but yeah, Lazio season could be over for February, so that's something we have to point out about it. You mentioned Provedel, so let's talk about Mandas, because I thought he's a very important player for the club, and rumors are Lazio is going to try to sell him in January. Would you do it, thinking about the financial issue we're having, or would you keep him and maybe sell other type of players?
I don't think we can hold on to him anymore. I mean, he played a great season last year, half season. I mean, he was basically Lazio's best player in the spring. I don't think we can hold on to him anymore. He's been on the bench for way too long. And remember, Lazio is not even playing in European competition this season, which means that we have a lot fewer games. I think we have 20 fewer games than we did last season. So Mandas is not going to have any game time whatsoever. I think maybe we should sell him. Also, I think we have to be a little bit reasonable to these players as well and not be too selfish. I mean, what's the point of having such a good goalkeeper on the bench when he never plays? Yeah, I think you have to look at how the players look at the clubs as well, because if you want to attract new players to Lazio, you can't have a reputation for not doing what's best for the players as well. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, You don't have to agree, but...
No, I understand what you're saying. The thing is, if I was Sarri, I would have started Mandas. He's younger, he's more talented, he has a bigger ceiling. He could improve and become one of the best in Europe. Instead, playing Provedel sends the message, right? I don't need Mandas, and obviously he could sell him and see him somewhere. The problem is about this, Karsten, is that he's not been playing, so you're not gonna get 20 million euros for the player now. You're gonna get 8 or 9, which is not that much. And I think the value of the player of Manda is much more than that amount of money. So it's a wasted opportunity, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean that's always the danger of having a really good second string goalkeeper. You know, Liverpool had a great second string goalkeeper for 10 seasons maybe. He was at Liverpool for Kelleher. He was at Liverpool from when he was 14 to 24 or something. But then Liverpool had to let him go. He's the keeper for Brentford now, right? But he was a really great second string goalkeeper. But you can't hold on to those guys too long.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to play themselves. And I agree with you. If I had been the coach this summer, I would have started with Mandas as well. He just played terrific last season. I have a question for you, Vittorio.
Go for it.
Will we have a transfer window in January at all? Or is it going to be closed again?
Well, it's not going to be close. We're going to have to sell players to buy new players. So it depends on who we're selling. And Karsten, this is a perfect assist because yesterday I was reading that our sports director is looking in the north region of Europe to sign players. So as we signed Proskat last winter, who's the Danish player we should be looking for Lazio? Who should we be signing?
What position are you looking at?
I don't know. We have so many holes that, except the goalkeeper, I think we need everything.
Well, I think that in Denmark we usually produce pretty good midfielders and defenders, not so much strikers usually. There is, however, there's a winger at FC Midtjylland. He's a lot like Isaksen, Gustav Isaksen. He plays the other wing, so he plays Sakanye's spot, right? He's really young. He's 19 years old. He's half Danish, half Basque.
Oh.
He just scored in the Europa League. You know that FC Midtjylland is the leader of the Europa League right now, right?
I saw it.
So this guy is 19 years old. He reminds me a lot of Isaksen. I think he's going to be better than Isaksen. But I also know that he's up to about 25 million euro value now. So it's way too much for Lazio.
Yeah.
Right. So the problem is that Midtjylland has a lot of good players right now. They're leading the league and they're also leading the Europa League. The other problem is if the Midtjylland is a rich club, Midtjylland's owner is the 16th richest person in Europe. So He owns like half of Scotland too. He's really rich. So he doesn't need any money.
Can you ask him to buy Lazio?
What?
Can you ask him to buy Lazio, please?
Yeah, that would be nice. He's actually a really good owner. He never shows up.
I mean, do what you can, please, Karsten.
I've never met him personally. I mean, I would love to. If I meet him, I'll tell him.
Good.
There's a club in Italy that we won't sold.
Very important club. I mean,
yeah. But I'll see. I'll look into. I promise next time you put me on this podcast, I will look into what kind of Superliga Danish players that we look into. My problem is that the Super League, I mostly just look at Midtjylland. And to be completely honest, Lazio can't really buy players from FC Midtjylland anymore. They're just too expensive.
Yeah, and we have a big budget issue, so that's one of the problems we're facing now. But I mean, I think the rumors are casting that Sarri asked for a midfielder who has ball skills, so more like a Luis Alberto rather than a Guendouzi type of player, a winger, and if possible, a left back. These are I don't think we're going to be able to sign all three players. I think we have to choose one of them. So this is what's going to be our goal. I want to ask you, what do you think about Lorenzo Insigne? Because his agent spoke last Saturday saying that pretty much it's done with Lazio. They're just waiting the window to open. He hasn't been playing for pretty much 1 year. He's not getting any younger. His talent is huge. But do you think he's going to have a big impact for us?
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he plays Sakanye's spot, basically, right?
Yeah.
I think he's no better than Sakanye. Who the hell is? Not a lot of players are, to be honest. If you sign him, he's probably not going to get that much playing time. I mean, what are his what's his level at the moment? He hasn't played football for a long time.
Yeah.
I would be very reluctant to do it. Also, do you remember what it was like down in Napoli? From what I heard, Insigne was not easy to work with in Napoli. I mean, a lot of the other players, I think, complained about him. Do
I
you
don't,
know that some players are good in the locker room and some are not? I
yeah,
heard a lot of things about Insigne.
I don't think he has a winning mentality. He's a great player, great ability and skills. I don't think he has a winning mentality. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after he led the club, Napoli won twice the title, right? So I think that speaks a lot for the player. The problem is, or the reason is, his best season he had it under Maurizio Sarri. So could it be that, we signed Insigne and suddenly he's back to his top form, scoring, etc. I'm not convinced because, a Canadian friend told us that in Canada he's been a disaster, total disaster. He's been benched last year. So I'm not sure he's gonna be he's gonna need time to get back to a decent level of form. So I'm really concerned about this signing. But I mean, his agent said it's pretty much done. So I think if nothing huge happens, he's gonna be a signing in January, which I can understand because you're gonna save money. You're not gonna pay the fee, etc. But I don't think we need him, to be honest with you.
Well, if you do a contract that's based on how many minutes he plays, I think that could be a very easy and a very cheap solution
Yeah.
because he might not play at all. But I don't think that's the position where we actually need players. There's actually I thought about it. There's a player in Genoa right now, Danish player called Albert Grønbæk. So he used to be on the Danish national team, but at Genoa he's not playing at all. He's not owned by Genoa. I think they just rented him in Belgium somewhere.
Mm.
I think he would be a really good Lazio player, but he's not cheap. He's quick. I think he's pretty good in front of goal. He dribbles really well. I wouldn't say he's Luis Alberto. I think he's quicker than Luis Alberto, but technically not exactly as good as him. But he wouldn't be bad for a sort of, I wouldn't say a trequartista, but an offensive midfielder, right? I certainly think he would be better than Delabashiro.
I think not a lot of players are better than Luis Alberto, skill wise. His touch of the ball was amazing.
Why don't you make a call down to Saudi and you get Sergei Milinkovic-Savic back to Lazio?
Well, he just renewed his contract,
Yeah, I saw that.
which Karsten, I don't understand, to be honest with
No.
you, because he's been heavily linked with Juventus. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy that he's not coming back and he's not signing for Juventus. But he's turning 30 years old. So, these are the next 2 years are going to be his last top level years. And I can understand you're making a lot of money, but a player like Milinkovic should be competing to win the Champions League. And not with Lazio, but with Juventus, with Paris Saint-Germain, with those type of club, he would have a huge opportunity. So, Karsten, I don't understand. Milinkovic is such a talented player. Why do you choose money? I mean, you've already been there, how long, 2 years? You made enough money, not only for yourself, for your son, for your grandson, etc., right? So you don't need to sign another contract. Why don't you come back to Europe and try to win something important?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. He's as you said, he's such a good player. There's maybe 5 or 10 clubs in the world where he wouldn't be starting. That's how good he is. But I actually hear that from Saudi that he's basically the best player in the league. So I think they offered him a lot of money to stay. Maybe his family really likes it there. I mean, who knows? I think it's a waste of talent,
Yeah.
obviously, because he didn't win a whole lot with Lazio.
No, that's
But
the
he
thing.
could go back and play with Napoli or Milan or maybe even Manchester City or something. That's how good he is, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Luis Alberto spoke a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I'm happy here. It's always summer, so my family enjoys it, goes every day to the beach. I still play football. It's not that competitive, but it's still football. I'm starting to become a manager, and it's summer here. It's enjoyable. But Luis Alberto, it's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Milinkovic Savic still have really 2 good years coming in the next one.
At least 2 years.
I mean, football players are able to keep playing much longer. See Pedro now. So, again, I repeat, rumors were that he was heavily linked to Juventus. So I'm really happy he's not going there. But Liverpool, Manchester City, United, I think he would have been a very important player there. So,
Yeah. What about Philippe Anderson? What did he say when you tried to call him last week?
well,
Can't get him back?
he's hardly playing in Brazil. He's been terrible.
Really?
Yeah, he's on the bench most of the games, which is incredible, to be honest with you, Karsten, because the last season with Lazio, he was still the best player on the pitch.
Mhm.
So I don't know if, the mindset changed and he came back to Brazil just to, early retirement, maybe.
Well, I think he is that kind of person. He kind of is. He's so laid back. He never really looked like he really wanted to win, but he was just such an exceptional talent.
Uh,
Do you remember what Sarri said about him? Coached him for 3 months. He said, "This is the most talented player I've ever coached in my life." And if you think about the players that Sarri has coached over the years,
yeah.
I mean, those are big words. But
Uh,
he was an incredible player.
and to be honest with you, probably the player we're missing most is Felipe Anderson. He was defending, attacking, scoring. He was doing everything.
Yeah, he could play number 9. He could play Isaksen's spot. He could play everywhere. He was our best player for the entire season. I agree.
Yeah, and so it's the one
So
we are
you just want me to find a Danish Philip Anderson? Is that all?
cheap, a cheap
Really, really cheap. 3 million euros, nothing more.
for free if possible, because that's what we're needing. Oh, Luis Alberto, that's good enough. That
Makes
will
it a
work.
lot easier.
Well, that's the situation. Karsten, before we wrap it up, what do you think? Where will Lazio finish this season? Because we didn't start it well. We had a couple of games where our form were picking up. We lost against Inter. Where are we heading? How is it going to finish this season?
I think once we get Tati back, I had also hoped for Rovella. He's not going to get back, but once we get our injured players back, you have to remember that Lazio is not playing Europe, and I think we'll be out of the Coppa Italia really soon because we're playing Milan. I think Lazio will probably be number 6 this season. I think so, because it's going to mean so much that the other teams are playing Europe, and we're not. And to be honest, the big teams always have problems with Lazio. I mean, we've done well against the big teams. If Isaksen hadn't given away a goal really cheaply and very early against Inter, I think we would have caused them problems as well. And Juventus we beat. I think everybody is afraid of Lazio, but the biggest problem is that Lazio doesn't really score a lot of goals against the smaller teams. That's the problem. And we have to, I think Sai has to work with finding a way to create more goal opportunities for Lazio, because we don't have a whole lot of goal opportunities, and find somebody who can score goals.
Yeah, the problem is that you need talent to create chances, and this team is incredibly missing of talent. I mean, Zaccagni and Isaksen are the only talented player we have.
Yeah.
That's if you think about 3-4 years ago, we were having too much talent and less run. Now it's pretty much the opposite. I mean, Basic is starting and he's only running around, right? So this is a big issue for us. And
yeah, I agree, but also when I look at Lazio, I also think maybe buy a young striker, take a little bit of a chance, buy a striker who's 19, 20 years old, give him a few opportunities. It might not work out, but if he's not too expensive, he might score a few times, and that's all. We just need somebody who can score We don't need a lot of goals because our defense is so good now, you know. But we need a few goals. Diaz not scoring at all. He's not even getting the chances, really.
So you have another job to do before next podcast. Find even a cheap, young, talented number 9 for Lazio.
All right. Well, thank you.
You have a lot of things to do, Karsten. I'm really concerned. I hope you're gonna make it.
That's fine. I suppose I'm very busy the next couple of months then.
Good. Remember, January is just around the corner. You don't have that much time. Don't waste time. Don't think about tennis, even because, I mean, your players are rubbish at the moment, right?
Oh, yeah. They're injured or rubbish.
Yeah. We should focus on tennis instead of talking about Lazio going forward, I think.
Yeah, well, you have the best player in the world in Italy. Italy. What do you think about Italy?
The national team or the tennis team?
No, the national team, unfortunately.
Rubbish. I mean, we are terrible. I've been watching the last 2 games, and we are ready. I think Pio Esposito is a very interesting player. He could be really talented going forward. He's not ready now, but he's someone that could have a bright future.
Mm-hmm.
But apart him and Donnarumma, all the other players are average players, nothing more. Yeah. So this is the problem. I mean,
you think you'll get to the World Cup, or you're going to miss the 3rd World Cup in a row?
Could be. I don't want to think about it, but I mean, if we find Sweden, there's a chance we find Sweden immediately. We could go out easily against Sweden.
Yeah, the same with us. We have Sweden as well. Denmark can face the same teams as Italy.
Yeah, because we are in the same pot, so we are not going to face each other.
Oh,
I mean, if we played against Denmark, we didn't have an opportunity for me. I mean, Isaksen would have scored 15 goals. Højlund would have been, easy hat-trick against us. So
well, you haven't seen Denmark play at the moment. I think Denmark could lose to, I don't know, a Serie B team at the moment.
Is Michael still the goalkeeper?
Yes, that's one of the problems.
Yeah, he's getting up.
He's 39 now. It's Michael. Yeah, we need to get rid of him. We need to find another keeper.
Yeah,
but it's hard when you have an old goalkeeper who's been there for so long.
Yeah, that's the problem. We had the same issue with Dino Zoff when he was getting older. But yeah,
but he won the World Cup at the 41 or something.
Yeah, it was incredible. I still remember that. And he made a couple of great matches in that year. So, but it was a different football age, right? It wasn't 2 football eras ago, I would say. So it's different. But let's not talk about national teams, because otherwise you're going to make me cry. The situation is so bad for us.
Me too.
It's incredible. Karsten, thanks for joining me. You have a lot of homework to do. So
yes, I do.
Start working immediately. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for our Patreon. Remember, you can support us at patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. Membership starts at $2 a month. And we're going to be back after Lazio Lecce. Take care, guys.